Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Erin and today is Friday, which means it's another book review Friday, and today's review is a book that I have heard so much about. I have heard so many people talking about this book, and that is the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. Every time I try to say this title, I get tongue-tied. I don't know why. It's just so long that my tongue stumbles. But this is by Grady Hendrix, and I swear I have heard nothing but good things about this book. I love Grady Hendrix. He wrote My Best Friend's Exorcism and Horror Store, which I have reviews on here on my channel. I'm gonna warn you guys, these were made in like 2018 and they're not good. One, the quality is really bad. I didn't write out my notes beforehand. I kind of just winged it. I said like a lot in them. I watched one back yesterday and I was just kind of like, oh, this is horrific. So you can go watch those. I still stand by what I thought about those books. It's just not very good videos. So it's up to you if you want to see that or not. But anyways, I love Grady Hendrix. I was very excited for this book. I have heard nothing but good things and I was not disappointed. So let's talk about the cover really quick. I think it looks so freaking cool. I love the peaches. I love the blood coming out of the peaches. It's kind of gross, but it's also kind of like really cool looking. I like that it's soft touch matte. It is a hardcover, so it is kind of a chunky boy. And it's 404 pages, I believe. So without further ado, let us begin. Patricia Campbell's life revolves around her husband, who's always working, her kids who are turning into teenagers, her mother-in-law who needs constant care, and her other housewife duties. The only fun that Patricia gets to have for herself is her book club. The women in the club are her safe haven, and they all share a love of true crime novels. They talk about Charles Manson and Ted Bundy, but they also confide in each other about their own families and their own lives. After book club one night, Patricia is viciously attacked by her elderly neighbor. After the attack, Patricia encounters the elderly woman's nephew, James Harris, who is intriguing, attractive, and very interested in Patricia. He makes Patricia feel seen and heard, something she doesn't feel in her day-to-day life. But then Patricia learns about the children that are going missing and dying on the other side of town. Because the children are from the poorer side of town and the children are black, no one really is paying attention to any of it. Patricia starts putting clues together and finds that her clue trail leads directly to her new friend and neighbor, James Harris. Patricia becomes very wary of James and wonders if everything he's been telling her has been a lie. She ends up finding out that James isn't a regular guy. He isn't even a Ted Bundy. He's a much worse monster, and it's going to be very hard to take him down. Especially when he's already been invited into her home and everyone sees him as this wonderful and amazing man. Her kids love him and her husband doesn't believe her. But Patricia won't let him take over without a fight. Okay, that's gonna do it for the synopsis. Let's get into my thoughts. Grady Hendrix is the only person that could write a book about a Southern book club that involves vampires, and I would read it. This book it's so different, but in the best way possible. I really truly thought this book was going to be dumb, I guess. I mean, come on, a book club full of housewives that have to slay a vampire? It sounds ridiculous. It sounds so weird and lame, and it just sounds kind of dumb. And I hate saying that because I don't like to judge too hard before I read it. But when I was looking into this book, I was like, oh my god, this is so dumb, but I'm gonna read it because it's Grady Hendrix and I love his books. This book is so much better than I could have ever imagined it. If I had an inkling that it was going to be good, it surpassed my wildest dreams by 1,000,000%. Another thing, I don't like vampire books. I don't like vampires in the horror genre. I think it's weird, and I don't really care for any of the plots, and I don't care for really any of the storylines. I'm not a big vampire person in the horror genre. Now, I'm going to expose myself here and tell you that I used to read a lot of vampire books in the YA genre when I was in high school, and I loved those because they were more romantic, and I know that sounds very lame, and I'm exposing myself right now to all of you, so please be nice. But yeah, I liked the romance of vampires, like, and of course Twilight, but definitely other things outside of Twilight. It wasn't just Twilight. But yeah, I just never got into the horror side of vampires, and I just don't really care for that side of the horror genre, so I wasn't expecting much from this book. I just love Grady Hendrix's writing style. He's the only person in this genre that can make me laugh so hard on one page and then on the next page be freaked out and spooked. He's the only person that can do that for me, and I think that's why I'm so partial to his writing, because usually comedy and horror is just really cheesy or awkward or weird, or it's not very funny. But for some reason, Grady Hendrix's humor in the books isn't too much, and it doesn't deter from the plot or from the actual storyline at all. It just adds, and I really, really like that. This book was actually pretty bloody as well, and I know it's a vampire book, so there's gonna be blood involved, but there were some scenes that were very surprising to me. They were very gross and creepy, and I liked that a lot. It's something I didn't expect from the book, and I appreciated him adding those in. I felt like it was a good amount of blood and gore. It wasn't too overwhelming, and it didn't take away from any of the other elements. I do want to say that the book does mention suicide and rape, so if those are triggers for you, you just might want to be wary. Yeah, I just want to let you guys know because they are in the book. It's not on every page or in every chapter or anything like that, but it is discussed and said. I just wanted to let you guys know just in case that is a trigger for somebody. I really loved all the women in this book. The ladies in the book club were my favorite. I loved them all. I thought they were funny and adorable and slightly annoying, but in a good way. They all had that stereotypical Southern lady kind of thing going on, which I thought was going to irritate me because I usually don't love that stereotype, that really heavy Southern stereotype, but I didn't hate it in the book. I thought it worked well with, you know, the time period they were in, and they were in Charleston, South Carolina, so I felt that it fit the book, and I actually enjoyed all the ladies. I really liked all the characters. They were just fun to read, and I enjoyed their presence in the book. I just have to say this because it is an opinion of mine, and it would not be an Erin review if I didn't mention how much I hate someone in a book. So I will tell you, Patricia's husband Carter is a trash human. I hate him with every fiber of my being. He made me so angry while I was reading this book. I wanted to deck him in the face. He is a misogynistic dick, and I hated him. He got away with a lot more than he should have, to be honest, but I think he got what was coming to him in the end. I wish it was a little bit more, in my opinion, because I think he deserved more, but, you know, karma, I think, served him decently but I just want to mention that I hate him very much, and he is my least favorite character. I will give an honorable mention to most of the husbands in this book as being my least favorite characters as well. It seems as though the vampire in the book wasn't as annoying as the husbands. So, again, just my opinion. Just thought I'd throw that out there in case you wanted to know who my least favorite character was, and it's Carter, Patricia's husband. Hate him. He is trash. I actually really liked James, the vampire. I thought he was a cool take on vampires. It was much different than I expected it to be. He's not the typical vampire, which I thought was fun. There's like a little twist on that, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty cool. It was different, and it made me feel like I wasn't reading a stereotypical vampire horror book. It made it feel fresh and new and different, and I liked that. The ending was so freaking satisfying. I loved every second of the ending. It was so good. I feel like it was so satisfying in more ways than one. I feel like everything happened the way I wanted it to, which is very rare in horror books. Usually they don't end the way I want them to. I feel like this ended how I wanted it to end, and I appreciate that to the fullest extent. Thank you, Grady. I know you didn't end the book for me, but I appreciate it nonetheless. I also felt like the ending was bittersweet. It was so sweet because it was exactly what I wanted, but it was so bitter because it was over, and I enjoyed every second of this book. I literally loved every second of this book. And when it ended, I was just so sad. It was so sad. I was so sad. I know that sounds dramatic, but honestly, I was very sad. I was just really sad. I'm gonna make a bold statement here, so don't rip me apart in the comments, but I think this might be my favorite book I've read this year. I know. I mean, I know we're only in August. We're in August now. I know it sounds crazy, but so far I think this is my favorite. Ooh, that sounds crazy to say. I know. We have a lot of months left still, and by a lot, I mean some. I know that's a bold statement. I know that's a bold statement. I know I probably shouldn't be making bold comments like that, but I think it might be so far. I think it might be so far. Don't hold me to that, because I haven't read all the books yet this year. So when I finish, and you know, when December comes and January 1st of 2021, oh, that sounds so strange. When 2021 comes, I will revisit that question and I will answer what was my favorite book of 2020, or like my top 10 or something. I'm just telling you right now, as of August, what day is it? As of Friday, August 7th, 2020, I think this is my favorite book so far of this year. I know, bold statements, but I had to say it. I had to say it. And I know there are probably some people that are like, that's so dumb. Okay, I'm sorry you don't agree. That's fine. You can hate this book, and that's totally fine, because I loved every second of it, and you can't tell me otherwise. Anyways, I've been talking for 20 minutes. I'm going to shut up. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. It lets me know what kind of content you enjoy from me. That way I can keep providing you with that kind of content. Feel free to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. We can become friends and talk about books, horror, makeup, all kinds of things. I do a lot on this channel, so hopefully there's something for everyone. With that being said, I hope you guys had a wonderful week and have a great weekend, and I will see you guys on Monday with a new video. Bye!